Our topic is about attention and performance and how it connects to the movie Sweet Girl. Our topic is about attention and performance. The capacity for attention is the capacity to select and focus on pertinent inputs. The cognitive function of attention enables us to direct our attention toward pertinent stimuli and subsequently respond to them. This cognitive capacity is the crucial daily life and plays a crucial role in it. We use attention as a sophisticated cognitive function in practically all of our daily actions. Over time, scientists and researchers have discovered that attention is actually a collection of attentional sub-processes rather than the single process. The hierarchical model from Solberg and Mathieu 1987-1989, which is based on clinical cases and experimental neuropsychology, is currently the most widely accepted model for the attention subcomponents. The following categories can be used to categorize attention according to this model.
Posner and Peterson's 1919 neuroanatomical model suggests that there are three distinct attentional systems. Here are some of them. Reticular activating system or alert system. The key functions of this system include arousal and sustained attention. It has close connections to the basal ganglia, limbic systems, frontal regions, and reticular formations, as well as some of those regions' connections. Posterior attentional system or orientation system. Focus attention and selective attention to visual stimuli handled by this mechanism. The posterior parietal cortex, the lateral pulvinar nucleus of the thalamus, superior colliculus are the brain regions connected to this system. Anterior attentional system or execution system, selective attention, sustained attention, and divided attention are all controlled by this system. It shares a close connection with the supplementary motor area, striatum, pitofrontal cortex, anterior cingulate cortex, and prefrontal dorsolateral cortex.
The earliest and most crucial components of studying at home or in class is paying attention. You must be awake and focused while studying in order to retain the information you are reading or hearing. Reading the same material over and over again while trying to learn might seem boring and repetitive after a time. You can concentrate on studying for hours with sustained attention, which helps you avoid wasting time and forgetting what you've read. In our daily lives, we perform innumerable jobs that require concentration. We constantly use various forms of attention from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to bed. If you are not paying attention, you can put the spoon in the garbage and the empty carton in the refrigerator without realizing it. You need to pay attention when avoiding this: reading, watching a movie, cooking, or taking a shower, or meeting up with friends. Any job requiring a certain amount of reading or writing, as well as those performed by air traffic controllers, athletes, cashiers, drivers, doctors, and CEOs all require the ability to pay attention. Every career demands various levels of care.
The importance of attention on human performance. For more than a century, sensory physiologists and psychologists have understood the significance of attention in human performance. Since the 1970s, controlled and thorough experiments have investigated the impact of selective attention and allocation in space or on an item. In addition to behavioral investigations, cognitive neuroscientists have looked into the origins of attention in the brain. In this work, I provided a quick overview of some traditional attention paradigms, current developments in the theory of attention, and some fresh findings from cognitive neuroscience and psychophysics. The processes of how attention enhances human performance are the main topics of discussion. One can distinguish between situations when attention alters the perceptual processes and those where the perception of objects remains constant, but performance may vary due to different decision structures. The perceptual template model is presented as a theoretical foundation for delving into attentional mechanism analysis. I also provide empirical support from psychophysics and brain imaging for two attention mechanisms: stimulus augmentation and external noise exclusion.
By choosing some information for further processing or by allocating resources to multiple sources of information at once, attention alleviates the issue of information overload in cognitive processing systems. Broadbent 1957, Posner 1980, Treisman 1969. At the end of the 1800s and beginning of the 1900s, cognitive approaches to psychology gave rise to the first scientific studies on attention. James 1890, Pillsbury 1908, Chiner 1908, Wundt 1902. Pioneering researchers debated whether attention affects the perceived quality of objects such as the brightness of a light patch, the loudness of a musical tone, the clarity of a visual pattern, or the vividness of a particular color after realizing the significance of attention for human performance. The current empirical investigation of attention is mainly concentrated on defining the networks of attention control, how attention is allocated in space and time, contributions of top-down and bottom-up methods for allocating attention, and the connection between overt and covert attention. These networks of attention control are important because they define how attention is controlled.
In psychology, attention is the focus of awareness on a phenomenon at the expense of other stimuli. What is meant by attention focus and attentive awareness of present moment? Early psychologists like Edward Bradford Teacher believed that attention governed the nature of conscious experience and regulated the content of consciousness. The subjective aspect of awareness received less attention in the years that followed, and more emphasis was placed on behavioral traits and that followed for the identification of others' attention. Although how people focus their attention shape how they view the world, it is clear that they do not have perfect control over it. For instance, there are instances where a person finds it difficult to focus attention on task discussion or a sequence of events. Other times, a person's attention is caught by unexpected occurrences as opposed to being consciously focused on it. It is a state of present awareness that has to do with a person's current experience. Of course, there are countless of events happening all the time in the world that affect a person's senses, just as there are representation of past events stored in one memory but available to awareness under appropriate circumstances. There are also bodily processes happening affect the attention.
William James made a distinction between active and passive attentional modes when goals or expectations are used as a top-down control mechanism. Attention is active. In order to study focused attention, subjects are exposed to two or more stimuli at once while being told to focus their responses on just one. By simultaneously displaying at least two stimulus inputs, divided attention is also studied. Humans are often highly adept at picking out and comprehending one voice among several current speakers. Listeners' performance clearly demonstrated how learning a new schema led to quick improvements. Compared to auditory attention, visual attention has been the subject of far more research. The primary reason is that with more of the cortex devoted to it than any other sense, vision is our most crucial sense modality.
Education, employment, relationships, and attention is essential. It enables people to concentrate on details in order to make memories. Additionally, it enables people to put aside outside distractions in order to concentrate and finish particular tasks. Types of attention. People may employ a variety of attention-getting techniques. A few of these are sustained attention. People maintain their attention on the work at the hand and carry on with the behavior throughout this time until it's finished or until a certain amount of time has passed. Alternative attention involves multitasking or seamlessly switching attention between two or more cognitively demanding tasks. It doesn't involve focusing on many tasks at once, instead stopping to attend to one task before moving on to the next. Selective attention is the ability to pick which environmental stimuli to pay attention to and ignore others. For instance, you might selectively attend to a book you are reading while ignoring the sound of your neighbor's car alarm going off.
Attention is the ability to choose and concentrate on relevant stimuli. Attention is a cognitive process that makes it possible to position ourselves towards relevant stimuli and consequently to respond to it. In the movie, when the rationalist father stole a tow truck when they were almost near a tunnel, they were tracked by the FBI above them. There is a helicopter following wherever Ray took turns in the road. Even though there is distraction in Ray's environment, he still chooses to focus on escaping the FBI, and at the same time, it helps him at motivation to eagerly escape. Attention reduces the impact of external noise in early visual era, resulting in improved signal-to-noise ratio and therefore a better performance.
If attention is defined as or measured by the degree of interference between two tasks, then which kinds of tasks do and do not interfere with each other, and under what conditions might these patterns of interference be expected to occur? Most of the everyday tasks we perform can be thought of as collections of processes involving stimulus input and encoding, response selection and choice, and motor programming and movement control. The fact that two complex tasks interfere with each other might not be very meaningful by itself because it would not be clear what the cause of the interference was or where in the information processing activities the interference occurred. Did the two tasks require response selection activities at the same time? or did they require movement programming at the same time? Many theorists think of attention as a single undifferentiated limited capacity to process information. Others argue that attention is really a number of pools of capacity, each specialized for separate kinds of processing. The successful performance of various tasks together is presumably limited by these capacities. Therefore, attention demand is usually estimated indirectly by the extent to which tasks interfere with each other. Thank you for watching, and we hope to hear from you guys.